individual savings accounts, also known as ISAs. To paraphrase your favorite rapper from the 1980s, ISA, ISA, baby. Huge. So, just to cut it shortly, you've got two things: tax evasion and tax avoidance. Tax evasion is illegal, and tax avoidance is encouraged by the government. Tax avoidance means paying less taxes, basically. And one of the ways that you can pay taxes in the UK specifically is by using an individual savings account. In the US or other countries, you might have your own things set up. In the US, you've got things like a 401k or an IRA. But in the UK, we've got ISAs. So, an ISA is a tax-free wrapper. To simplify, any money made within an ISA account will mean you do not have to pay any taxes on it. It's just that simple. It's just that simple, man. Any money that you get that's made in it, usually if you make 100,000, that's called capital gains. So if you have a stock, you invest £1,000 into it, and it goes up to £10,000, you would have made £9,000 in capital gains. You would have had to pay. You would have been liable to £9,000 in capital gains tax. But since it is within an ISA, you don't have to pay any tax on it at all. Now, what might cause the confusion is savings account. Do not be concerned, as although it says savings in it, it can apply to investments as well. Sorry for any background noise. For the sake of giving you an overall picture, there are currently 4 types of ISAs. So you've got a cash ISA. That literally works like a savings account. I'm going to just be quick and brief with this. If you do want the guide, I'm just going to put it down below. But literally, cash ISA, I say don't use this. It's just like a normal savings account. There's no point. Interest that you can earn is like a few percentage, and it's not worth it. Help to Buy ISA, which is cool. This is a government scheme which is actually now closed, that was designed to help you buy your first home, and it topped up any contributions you made by 25% with a limit up to 12,000. You've got an innovative finance ISA, which is like loans. It's a little bit complicated, but basically it's just for loans. Basically, if you can find an investor that's willing to lend you money, it could be a business or individual, you'll probably earn a higher interest rate, so you probably wouldn't want that in a normal savings account. You'd rather have that in an ISA account. And then my favorite, and the one that everybody needs to open right now, and I'm going to provide some links below into trading apps you can use in order to open them, is Stocks and Shares ISA, tax efficient investment account that lets you put money into a range of different investments, and they offer, they do offer over the long term higher returns than cash ISA. And finally, you got a lifetime ISA, which is also great. I've actually got this as well, where the government will actually top up to 4,000. They will top up 25% of anything that you save up to 4,000 in the tax year. So ISA, you've got 20,000. Just generally, you can spread that between all 4 different types of ISAs. So you can have 5,000 in each one, or you can have 20,000 in one. Again, as I said, stocks and shares. So you could, for example, you could have 4,000 in the lifetime ISA and 16,000 in the stocks and shares ISA, but the limit is 20,000. Remember that every individual situation is different, so using your entire ISA allowance to invest may not be your best for your personal circumstances. Maybe you are trying to save for a house in the near future. Maybe you need an innovative finance account. Maybe you do need a cash account because you want to hold a lot of cash. Maybe you do. Maybe you do want that because you really don't want to pay any taxes on any cash that you have in there. You can transfer in your ISAs. So if you want to switch providers, you can transfer in the ISA. It's quite a simple process. You actually just go to their website, and there's just probably a form that you just fill out. Not probably, there is a form that you fill out, and you just get it done through there. And it's a very simple process. They make it as easy as possible. Few things that you might want to know before you switch stocks and shares ISAs is they may apply charges like an exit fee or something like that. So be sure you're careful with which stocks and shares ISA you want to use. I recommend trading 212 Hargreaves London. It's free, and you're basically, it's still up to the current. It's not like you get like a new allowance. It's still 20,000. You know what I'm saying? When you do transfer it in. So let's say you have 5,000 in ISA for this tax year. The current allowance means you've used up 5,000 of your 20,000 pound allowance. So you have 15,000 left. So if you transferred to a new ISA provider, you can put in up to 15,000 of your allowance that you have remaining into the new provider. Just because they give you a 20,000 limit into the new provider, you can't do that. You've already used your limit. Also, one thing that I learned the hard way, if you listen please carefully, if you have an ISA account, let's say you put 20,000 into it because you wanted to use the maximum, if you just then decide that you need that 20,000 for an emergency and you take it out, that's it. You can no longer use an ISA account for that tax year. You have now used your allowance, yes. Even though you've took it out and then right back out, put it in and right back out, unfortunately, you have used your ISA account for that year. Full stop. Yeah, like there's not really much else I can say. Full stop. So I'm gonna leave it there with the ISA account, and in the next video, just taxes. Yeah.